I'm Akamai Guy, and this is A Guy's anime review of Mob Psycho 100. Mob Psycho is based on the webcomic by Artist 1 and animated by Studio Bones. It follows the life of a fairly weak 8th grade boy named Shigeo Kageyama, also known as Mob, who happens to have powerful psychic abilities. He spends his time going to school and has a part-time job exorcising evil spirits for a con artist named Arataka Reagan. The series prides itself on a quirky oddness that may or may not appeal to everyone. It's good at flipping expectations, particularly for comedic effect. The basic premise is set up quickly and events unfold organically, even if not as expected. Originality is difficult, but this is about as close as you get without giving into the chaos which has worked for other series. It's not weird for weird's sake. None of the character designs are notably strong, although they accurately represent the source material. Mob is especially bland, although that plays into the central conceit of the series that he doesn't outwardly display much of a presence. Most of the secondary characters lean into their stereotypes, which is fine, and probably needed in order to keep the series grounded. However, Mob's boss Reagan is a high point for his morally grey yet oddly insightful antics. The series has a very stylized look, which will be hit or miss depending on your personal taste. There's an intentional messiness to the visuals, which work best when things get crazy, but just appear simplistic the rest of the time. There's clearly some setup for an additional season, but the majority of subplots and payoffs are concluded well, so it would be fine if things ended as is. There was clearly some hope this series would bring in fans of One's previous work on the One Punch Man series, but they are significantly different, so that isn't a consideration here. They share a similar sense of humor, but they craft very different stories and only have a passing visual resemblance through the main character. Mob Psycho tells an interesting story and stands on its own, as a quirky comedy about having psychic powers. It unexpectedly swerves at times, but its core framework is very simple, which makes it easy to follow. A Guy reviews have a 4-point scale looking at story, characters, production, and overall impact. A 4 is impressive, 3 good, 2 acceptable, 1 mediocre, and a 0 is offensively bad. For story, I'm giving Mob Psycho a 3, lots of originality, but often too sedate to leave a strong impression. For characters, I'm giving a 2. There's an intentional blandness to them that keeps you from getting too invested. For production, I'm also giving a 2. The stylization is used well, but it rides the line between artistic choice and just looking cheap. And finally, for impact, I'm giving a 3. It's an entertaining and original series with some moderate action thrown in. In conclusion, Akamai Guy is giving Mob Psycho 100 a 2.5 out of 4. It's worth checking out for the comedy, but don't expect your usual action series.